You you know that moment, do you? When you're trying to focus and be productive, and then that smell comes wafting into your office. Maybe it's bacon and you can hear it sizzling. Or maybe it's the espresso that you've been craving and you've been trying to hold off, waiting just a little longer. Or maybe somebody just got back with a fresh box of Krispy Kremes. You're desperate. You hear the bacon crackling like applause from heaven. That espresso smell is like angels are singing to your very soul. Everything stops. Your brain locks up. Your body has to go to find that smell that you crave. That's the pull that your message has when you let it out. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 38 books and counting. I've worked with over 5,000 people, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller, and everything that goes beyond that. But what I really am here to do, what I really do, is I'm all about helping you be visible and valuable. I am the architect to help you transform to the visibility that you were always meant to. You were born to have, because somebody is craving your voice, your message, your words. They're jonesing for it like a dieter on like a person on a diet that is really, really, really trying to avoid that box of donuts that just came into the conference room. Twitching for it. That same way that you feel in the morning before you have your first cup of coffee. Desperate for it. Like we were during COVID, when we would have been okay if somebody came and burglarized our whole house, as long as they would have given us a big hug and just sat down and talked to us for a couple hours. It's that level of desperate connection that somebody wants. It's irresistible, it's undeniable, and there is someone that is craving your words, your voice, your message, you, in just that same way. And I want to help you today. I want you to think about, look at, and really truly understand and know how to go from unseen to seen, from unheard to heard, from voiceless to having, really sharing the voice that you've always had. I want to awaken in you the understanding of just how craveable, how needed, and how desperate the people that need you are for you. In fact, I want you to close your eyes for a second. Okay, now, many of you make breakfast every day. And so it can be really easy to be, a little bit impervious to whatever you're cooking. And this could be lunch or dinner. I mean, you don't have to be talking breakfast foods. It just happens to be the direction my brain went this morning. But you're working hard over the stove and you don't really notice it. But have you ever noticed how, unless they know they're going to get in trouble, people start kind of drifting off out into the kitchen where you're cooking? People want to come in and say, what's that smell? That smell is really good. And it doesn't have to be food. That perfume that you wear, that everybody kind of smiles at you and says, hey, you smell really nice today. Not in just that, oh, hey, that's a really nice scent. But, that person that you really want to notice you, kind of gives you that glimmer in their eye look and says, you smell really nice today. That sexy kind of sultry feeling that you have between the two of you? How does that make you feel? Right? I want you to think about that for a second, because your voice, your words, your message, who you are, has that appeal to somebody else. It has that vibe, that sense. Whatever example I could give you that you would understand. You know that song that the minute the first note of it plays, you're like up on your feet, ready to go. You know, if you were at a skating rink, regardless of how worn out you are, you're hitting the skating floor and you're going to skate to that song. If you're at the club, no matter how much you've danced, no matter how worn out you are, when that song plays, you're going out on the floor and you're going to dance your booty off. When you're at a concert, even if you've been standing on your chair for hours, there is no way you're sitting down during that song. That's what your words are, your song that is capsulized in you opening your mouth and speaking. That's what it is for the people that you're meant to serve, for that person, that someone that's waiting on you. Now let's take it the other direction. And I'm going to use the music and out. Well, I'm going to use both music and food. I'm going to use both of them to try to really land this one for you. I'm going to use two examples. All right. Example number one. You know what it's like when you're really down, lonely, depressed, you're dealing with things. And I don't know about you, but I know for me that sometimes the only thing I can do is just kind of sit back in my chair, put on the headphones, and turn on one or two of those really certain specific songs. You know which ones I'm talking about. You know the one for you. You turn that song on, and more than likely what you're going to do is you're going to hit repeat on it. And you may hit repeat on it 2, 3, 4 times. Several songs like that, but there's that one specifically, especially that one song. And you've got your headphones completely on or two earbuds in your ear or whatever, and you're driving down the road in the car. You know, you were tired a minute ago driving in the car, right? And then that song came on the radio. And you cranked it up to 12. You're blowing out the speakers in your own car, just like you did your mom and dad's car back in the day when that song first came out. Because often, let's be real. Often that song is one that's nostalgia from when we were in high school, right? And you're singing at the top of your voice. In fact, when the song's over, you'll probably have a little bit of hoarseness and rasp to your voice because you don't care. And the people driving by you, because you've said these same things when you've driven by somebody else that's doing exactly what you're now doing. They look at you and think that you're a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Maybe. Now, there's some of the people that they love that song too. And even though it's already nearly shattering the windows, they're rattling and shaking in the best sort of car. And everybody in the car, even with their own radio on next to you, can hear your radio over theirs. Right? And if it's their song too, what they really still want you to do is turn it up even more. Even though there is no more to turn it up, they still want to hear more. You know what that feeling's like. I know you do. You know what it's like when you're really hungry? Like, have you ever had the time when, life happens, you skipped dinner, you went to bed a little bit hungry? I'm not talking about those times when you couldn't afford food and you went to bed hungry. It's just one of those life incidences. All right. You go to bed hungry and you're laying in the bed and you were gonna maybe even sleep in a little bit because last night you stayed up late and you were working and you were really in the zone with this project. We all know what it's like to be there, right? We stay up way too late, like I did last night, in fact, working on this stuff, just really in that space. And then laying there, sound asleep, that smell drifts through the room. It permeates the entirety of your existence. And you feel like the dog in the old cartoon where he just floated on the drift of the smell. And you're there. You're ready. You're like Pavlov's dog salivating. Nothing is going to satisfy that craving. You see, with the song, you went from less than feeling all kinds of ick to completely in a totally different state instantaneously. That's why the song that should be your entrance when you become a speaker on stage may even need to be, should be, the entrance to your podcast or when you go live. I mean, really, those of you that have heard my podcast, you can hear the song Money Can't Buy, written by Mark Pogue. It's from his Through the Fire CD. The link for it, if you go to wehelpyouthrive.com. This is not me pitching my my radio show. It's just simply Money Can't Buy is an amazing song. It's actually a redo from in the late 80s when Mark wrote that song originally. And it was both his and his wife's favorite song. And so when he did his album in whatever it was, 2018 or 19, something like that, he redid that song. That's the intro song to my radio show. And when I spoke on stage back in March, first time I've been on stage for a few years, an actual live in front of people stage, that was the intro song. It puts me right there, right immediately, And quite frankly, it's one of those songs, absolutely, that, if I listen to it once, the whole thing, I want to listen to it again immediately. The same thing's true with food, because that song changed your state instantly, put you from here to there, took you from a 2 to a 12, like instantaneously. Now, it doesn't necessarily stick if we don't know how to make it stick. We can wane really, really quickly. And like if I use the example of driving in the car, if you're absolutely exhausted and the next song that comes on the radio, you know how they do this? Oh man, it drives me crazy. They play this really upbeat, really amazing, absolute anthem jam. And then, then they follow it up with, a sad, lonely, slow, depressing, makes you want to jump out of the car while it's driving down the street, or worse yet, it's that song you totally hate. Okay, so, and music can affect our states that way, and we all know that. And the same thing's true with the food. If you had a really vivid dream, and maybe it's not bacon, maybe for you it's Krispy Kreme, maybe it's espresso, and you had that dream, and in your dream, maybe it's cheese, maybe it's dip, melty, yummy, delicious cheese dip. I say that because my brother was talking about literally this exact dream this morning. And you have that dream, and you wake up, and all you can think of is the flavor and the taste and the smell of that thing. If it's not the actual crispy bacon or wonderfully roasted coffee beans or the sticky, sweet Krispy Kremes, am I making you hungry yet? I bet I am. If it's not that, if there's nothing cooking, you wake up in the house and you still actually really, live alone, and there isn't anybody that's making your breakfast. And even if it's breakfast is on you, you don't have any of that. You don't have any of that thing you're craving. You got two choices at that point. You go jump in the car and you go to whatever that place is, Starbucks, Krispy Kreme, some place, some diner that makes just really great bacon, whatever. Or, even though what you really want is, that whatever thing, what you do is you pour yourself, a bowl of cereal. You got some leftover Cheerios and you pour them in the bowl. And I can tell you, I've been real about my weight loss journey and stuff. And you can tell from how expressive I can be about food. You wouldn't ever guess that I would have had a weight problem with, with the way that I talk about food, right? Or ever guess that I was ever in the music industry with the way that I talk about music. I mean, I'm pretty real and raw with you because I want you to really visualize it. I want you to have that craving because I need you to know that somebody craves you. But the problem is that, especially when we try to fill that craving with something else, we don't have the crispy bacon and we don't have any of it in the house, nor do we have time to make it. And so we have, a granola, a protein bar, not even the yummy sugary granola bars, but just one of those really kind of gross, good for you, but doesn't necessarily taste like it's good for you. Yeah, it tastes like it's good for you, protein bar, because you're already late for work, or you've got a project you need to jump on because you work from home. What do? You end up chasing that craving all day long and you overeat. Now, this is, of course, I'm inserting myself and the food problems that I obviously have had my whole life. Okay. Takes a lot of willpower when you're sitting here and the wafting smell of chocolate chip cookies comes in the house. And I'm currently on a diet where I eat no flour and no sugar. Okay, now what are cookies? They're flour and sugar. Maybe you throw some nuts in there, but really, they're just like a no, 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 no. And I've endured a lot of cookies being made in this house, and I've had none for more than a year. Yes, you should be proud of me. Thank you for the applause. I heard that and I accept it. But it's really easy to get stuck in that cycle. And here's why I want you to really feel and understand this. Why I'm going really deep rather than going wide on this concept of craving. Originally, when I was slating this out, I was actually going, I was saying, jonesing for it like a crack addict. And I was like, well, first of all, I don't think any of my people are drug addicts. And second of all, I don't know that I want to go down the road of drugs. And third of all, I can really deeply explain to this people, the cravings for food because I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt and the fat to go with it. Okay. And I want to go this deep with it because I need you to understand. I need you to understand. That's how desperately somebody's craving you. They woke up this morning in their dream, the perfect person, the you that they don't know yet, because you're not visible and valuable for them, because you didn't open your mouth yesterday. What did we talk about yesterday? About being stuck in our sexy excuses. And you let that sexy excuse make it one more day. You managed to squeak through yesterday again without going live, even though Steve told you to. And that person that you're meant to serve, they dreamed last night. They may have even heard parts of the words of your message. Now, when they wake up this morning, as is typically the case with those really deeply inspiring, change the world, find the cure for cancer kind of dreams, they don't really remember the specifics, but they remember that feeling of having gone to heaven, that feeling of being embraced and loved like they always wanted but have never had. That feeling of being satisfied at a level where In some respects, they don't really feel like they'd ever have another craving again in their life. That euphoria that even their favorite song doesn't take them to that level. And they woke up this morning just with the residual feelings of being in that place that you were born to take them to. They woke up there and they immediately started rummaging around their house, went onto the internet, picked up their phone, and they were scrolling through, desperate to find that feeling, just knowing, feeling like they could they could go to their bank account and look in their bank account, and that money that came into their business because of your messaging, because of your teachings, feels like it's already there in their account. It's not a promise of something that's coming. It's a done, it's a now. Yeah. Some of you are thinking it already, aren't you? That's your Zeraz. Your light that is calling the kings of all nations unto you. And it's calling like the siren song. Very interesting side note. I actually worked with a company that hired the same company that was the branding company that came up with the brand for Starbucks. Probably nobody you know knows this. But the name Starbucks, it actually comes from an obscure character in the Iliad, or I'm sorry, in the Odyssey. Okay. You know, Homer's The Odyssey. Starbuck is a character who jumps off of the ship when the sirens are singing their song and swims to shore, and of course is eaten by them or whatever, sirens actually do. He is allured by the smell of coffee and the siren song. That's from the Odyssey. It's funny because when I learned this, I was laughing, because that drawing of the mermaid, quote unquote, on the cup from Starbucks, that's the siren. That's where Starbucks got its name. When I learned that, I was actually at that particular time, the place that I was working at, I was consulting there, putting together their sales and marketing team, and I was telling my dad, actually, I was working at that same place. It was really cool. My dad and I got to work together for about a year at that same place. And I was telling my dad the story of this, this branding and why, we got to hire these people. And they charge like $60,000 to come up with a brand for any other company because they came up with the brand name and the drawing for Starbucks. And so now, and this was back in, oh my gosh, that would have been like 99 or maybe 2000. Okay, long time ago. All right, so they probably are, they're either out of business or they're probably at 100 or 200K to do a brand like that now. I was telling my dad that, and the lady behind us, she said, "You're kidding." And I was like, "No, that's literally where it came from." She's like, "I'm a high school teacher. I teach the book, The Odyssey. And now that you mention it, I do remember that story in the book." She goes, "But I've never put two and two together, and I couldn't have told you before you said that person's name even was Starbuck." Okay? You see, it's not in your brand name. Starbucks, you don't love Starbucks because of that story I just told you. You get up in the morning and you drive through the drive-through at Starbucks, maybe more than once a day for some of you. Yeah, I know, I see you. Because there's just something about that flavor. It is what it is. And it doesn't matter what the thing is. There's a place called Burgerville that's only in the Pacific Northwest. It's a burger place, that only exists in the Pacific Northwest. And in August, September, August-ish, they have onion rings. It's the only time of the year you can get them because their whole business model is based on they only do locally sourced fresh product for all of their stuff. And so there's a season, it's berry season, and they have berry shakes and blah, blah, blah. And during onion ring season, I mean, these are wampum onion rings too, okay? I mean, they cost like $3 for one onion ring, and it's like $20 for 10 or something. I mean, it's ridiculous, okay? They are amazingly great, okay? But I mean, if that's your thing, they put out the commercial a week or two, in a week, it's going to be onion ring season. And if that's your thing, you show up, you're there. And you don't care that you paid $20 for, 8 or 10 onion rings. And then other people in the car want some too, and you don't get enough of them. And you go back. I mean, why do you think it is that Krispy Kreme does so well? I mean, Krispy Kremes are great. Don't get me wrong. And if somebody is doing a fundraiser in a parking lot and they have they have boxes of Krispy Kremes, I know you buy a whole box of Krispy Kremes, right? But let's be real. If you've ever gone through the drive-thru at Krispy Kreme and you get it fresh and hot when it just got finished being made, there's nothing like it. And the list goes on and on and on. Food and music and all those kind of things. And the reason why I added in the title and connection, because now more than ever in the world, we crave connection. We're desperate for it. We are like a crack addict to truly, genuinely, uniquely, completely connect with people. Somebody needs you. They need you to connect with them. And how do we connect? We talk. We get clearer and clearer and clearer. We give a clearer and clearer message. We say things like twitching and craving for Krispy Kremes and espresso and fried sizzly bacon to get the point across. We're not doing it because, hey, I'd love it if this particular live or if a short that I do out of it, goes viral and 10 million people see it. That'd be awesome. That'd be amazing. But I'm here for the one. I'm here for the person that's already craving it. And they woke up and they're searching the world looking for that message that they know's there. Because you're what matters. And it doesn't matter if it's June 27th, 2025 at 12:30 p.m. Central Time, and you're hearing this absolutely right now live, or if it's, 10 years from now. If you're a spaceman who is, exploring the planet Earth that has been abandoned for 1,000 years, and you find some disk, and you're hearing part of this message is for you because you crave it. In fact, if you know you crave it, drop the word crave in the comments. Send me a DM and say, I crave it. I need it now. Let me help you out. If you're already a member of the Visibility Amplifier community, go into the Visibility Amplifier community and make the post, crave. Let me know. Because I don't want to torture you with the delicious bacon. I don't want to tempt you with the fresh hot donuts. I'm not just here talking to you about Starbucks or whatever espresso place you love and go to. I want to help you find your sizzly, craveable, hot, fresh, vulnerable, and valuable, real, authentic, genuine, clear message. And then I'm going to keep nagging you every single day. Not because I'm intending to nag you, but because I want to lead the charge for you. and be consistently here in the noon hour Central Time every day so that you also begin to consistently show up because somebody needs your connection too. They crave that connection more than any of the other cravings that I talked about, more than the most horribly addicted to whatever person is addicted to the thing. They need that connection with you. And that comes from your clear messaging. You're consistently putting that messaging out with the one and only intention, the one and only intention of connecting with you. Because that somebody needs you. And they're suffering in the silence of you having not shared it yet. So what are you going to do? You're going to pick up your phone. You're going to say, "Hi, my name is, and I'm here today to help you." If you don't know what, if you don't have that clarity yet, first of all, you should just start talking, and clarity is going to come from that. We've taught on that a whole lot. But if you don't know, if you just can't come up with anything else, "Hi, my name is, how can I help you today? What can I do for you? What do you need?" You want to know how to know what people need? This is deep. Oh man, I'm going really deep here on you. You want to know how to know what they need? You ask them, and they'll tell you. Now, you may have to ask them a couple of times. They may tell you you're crazy for asking, "Hey, what do you need?" They may tell you 1,000 times, "Oh, I don't need anything," when they're sitting there desperately in need. It's like the person who has blood squirting out of them, and you're like, "What do you need?" Like, "Oh, I don't need anything. I'm fine." How many times, if you're a parent, you've had that happen with your kids, right? "Do you need a Band-Aid?" "No, I'm fine." "Is there something I can do for you?" "No, I'm fine." Your people are the same way. That's why you gotta clearly, consistently keep reaching out and connecting to them, because they're going to keep telling you they're fine until eventually they get to the place where they're comfortable enough with you, where they're connected enough with you, where they know, like, and trust you enough that they can admit to their craving. So let's do it. Drop the comment crave. Tell me what it is you're craving. Or tell me that you have a craving and you don't even know what it is. Let's get you clear. Come join us in the Visibility Amplifier community. Visibilityamplifier.com will take you right there. You can join in. I am so delighted to be here with you. I'm so proud of all that you're doing and all the progress you're making. Add consistency to it. Let that consistency bring you the clarity, and always do it with a heart of connection. Let people know what you've got sizzling on the stovetop in your heart and mind and soul, and meet the cravings that they have that only you can meet. And thank you for doing it. I'm so grateful we got to spend time together. I hope that until we're together again next time, that you know how wonderful you are, that you are happy, safe, warm, and loved, that you do have a great week.